Today we're going to build this address planter, just a bigger, different version of the one that we did a couple videos ago. And it uses pretty much exactly 2 fence pickets. I added these sides on just because I wanted to. They're totally unnecessary. That is beyond the 2 pickets, but the design calls for exactly 2 pickets without those. All right, now let's get to it. So I've drawn the layout on these fence pickets right here. And basically we got our 4 backboards, which are all exactly the same. And then this is the part for the back that goes with the numbers on it. If you have dog ears, you can either leave them on or take them off. It's totally up to you. I have to remember to account for some of you that don't, well, probably most of you that don't have these kinds of boards. So there's our back of the planter, another 11 7/8. It's the bottom. And this piece is to account for the front and the 2 sides of the planter that go through and get the profile put on them. So we gave you 25.5 inches. And if you want to leave the dog ear, just kind of, face it so you can't see it. And then our strip here that we use for the other pieces is just a little bit shorter, but none of that stuff is overly essential anyway. So that's how we get our 2 pickets cut up. Okay, so this one we're going to put the profile in. We're going to put the profile on this one before we cut it into pieces, just because it's easier to put 1 piece through than 3 pieces, especially the small ones we don't want to put through. Okay, so we're going to take our top pieces, put them face down, make sure everything fits together. They're a little bit cupped. That's just the joys of working with wood, isn't it? There's our bottom one. Take 2 of our strips. One-inch brad nails. Okay, and we got our front piece here. Now we're going to switch to tape bond 3. So leave this board a gap of 5/8 of an inch, which I get left a little teeny bit more, but it makes no difference. Something like that. Then I can also nail this to the bottom. It's just going to make the assembly process easier. Okay, I'm going to drive 2 screws in there just because give a little extra strength. We got some squeeze out there, but we're not going to worry about it because it'll be buried under the soil. Okay, now to cut these pieces, we are going to get our pencil right there. And we're going to mark it. Carry the mark over there. And then we're going to cut it like this. Okay, so over to the saw, 45 degrees. Lined up there nice. over. We're going to be going this way. Looks pretty good. Okay, so when I was doing my layout there, I marked off the boards for the bottom here, and I was a little bit shy, so we're going to add an inch. So this one I have to use for something else now because it's not quite long enough to get the angle on there, which is why this one has the rabbit on it, because this was a piece from something else, and I'm just going to make it work with this project. So when you're making the cut, first I cut the 45 on there, then I marked it as you saw, but I'm going to cut it a little bit longer than that, and I'm going to see how it fits, and then I'm going to creep down because this is hard to get completely accurate. Okay, now I'm switching to a 23 gauge pin nailer with 1-inch nails in it. You don't have to do that, it's a little tidier. Okay, so we're at about 4.5, a little bit more. So we're going to cut our part of our strip here at 3.5. We're going to make 2 of those. And 7. I don't have to count for blade kerf because this is only going to be hidden inside. Okay, you can nail those in if you want. I just didn't want to put any more holes in the box. So we're gonna let that dry, give it a sanding, we'll put the finish on, and then the numbers. All right, so here we are, it's the next day. Everything's set up overnight. So last night, I put a block in here just because we had a little bit extra, just to give it a little bit more. I tend to like to overkill things when I can. I also took the remainder of that last strip that we have, and I just cut a 45-degree angle on it, and I cut it in half. And I stuck the half on there to make a French cleat, and later I'll go stick this on the wall, and then put 1 screw through the bottom, and then I think it'll never move then. Then you don't have to worry about putting holes in. Or if the situation fits you, you can just put the screws in and then put the numbers on, and then cover the screw holes with it. Okay, so there's your 2 picket, basically almost entirely 2 pickets. This is from previous project, I don't remember which one it was. So I just cut these into 1.25 inch strips, and I'm just going to stick them on there. Obviously this is totally optional, I just like the idea of covering that up. Okay, now I am going to take my sander and I'm going to go over and just kind of even out anything in cedar so it's super easy to do. And I'm just going to put the kind of profile on there with the sander and get it all cleaned up. All right, we have our Hula Dig Tech here. Oh, that teak oil sounds better. Okay, now put a coat of teak oil on the whole thing. Okay, our finish is done. Time to put the numbers on. Now if you want to do this style, by all means do that. You can see our previous video on doing this one, using the router and the Milescraft sign maker. For this one I just elected to buy them. This is probably what most of you are going to do. And then take into account, of course, how many numbers you have and when you get to how big they are. Me, I'm pretty much pushing the limit on how much space I got. I think I would have got them a little smaller, but it gives us a little room for the plant. Because the top of the 7 is so close to the edge of the board, I'm going to pre-drill that one, just because I don't want to split the board this late in the game especially. Ta-da! Okay, there we have it. The thing that's different on this one from some of my other stuff is that it got recommended to me in the comments that I put a 45-degree angle on the profile and get it to wrap all the way around, which you saw us do. Okay, all of the tools used for this video will be linked down below. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification, leave us a comment. Okay, now we're going to give you a link to a different woodworking channel called Guardian Woodworking, and he does fantastic work. His videos are great. He's just getting started out like us, and you go over there and show your support and subscribe to him as well, and put in the comments that Little River Woodworking sent you. All right, the link's right there. Thank you for watching.